Okay, so Tony's right. How are you? So I just did a video, kind of a rambly video, about should NYC be the center of publishing? Particularly I'm talking about like the US. But this video is about like diversity in books and stuff like that. I don't know. Like I feel like I don't watch enough. I'm not 100% in the booktube space or the book talk space or whatever space to like really talk about this. And some of my viewpoints could come off as ignorant, but I don't know. I kind of feel like the discussions about diversity in books, because I talked about somebody like this about this, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not on the wave that a lot of people are talking about when it comes to books and diversity, and I don't know. I kind of just feel like maybe it's just me, but I don't look to read books about people that look like me. Like I don't seek that out. And I feel like I don't seek it out because I don't need it. Like I don't need it. I feel like a lot of discussions about diversity in books comes from an emotional space to feel represented, and I feel like that emotional gap is not there. Like for me, I think I'm more like, if anything, more ethnic because I'm African American specifically. I want to see more African American writers, but even then, I'm not pressed to like, oh, like they're writing about the African American experience because it's so varied, and like for me, I don't have a strict box of like what that is. Like I know like it's descendants of U.S. chattel slavery specifically, but like that there's certain experiences that like that we're all having. I don't know. I feel like I grew out of that perception or that idea. And so I don't seek to see it, particularly in like literature. I feel like my desire to have diversity comes from like wanting to have actual experiences. So like having diversity when it comes to like food, when it comes to like music, when it comes to like movies. But I'm not talking about diversity just like putting color, people on the screen. I'm not talking about that as just the idea of thoughts. And I kind of feel like this diversity topic is just about like the face of the people and not the actual thoughts. It almost seems like diversity is its own echo chamber of like reasoning and philosophy and stuff like that. And I kind of just, it's just like everybody, it's kind of like you can look at, like you can have someone who's like, Chinese Swish, Trinidadian, Ghanaian, French, Peruvian, Chinese, Brazilian, Inuit, and like they all think the same. And so there's no like the diversity is just skin deep or like aesthetica. And there's no real diversity of actual perspectives. And I kind of think that that's my main issue with the topics of discussion. Like there's a criticism of like the mainstream kind of like there's no diversity, but then like the people that are talking about diversity, there's really no diversity with what they're talking about either. I'm more like a diversity of thought kind of thing, or diversity of perspectives. Case in point, I'm an animist. Yeah, like animist perspectives, things like that. Different fringe perspectives, experimental perspectives. And I feel like, I think I'm gonna be real, I don't feel like people do a lot of research into these things. Like it's the same thing, the same issue I have with people like in clothing and especially in the beauty space of like, oh man, like this place doesn't have like all these shade ranges, and it's just like, okay, then go somewhere else. And I don't mean that to be rude, but I'm just saying like you can either like beg for them to do it or just take your money and go somewhere else that like already had this in mind. And if they decide to come back and expand those colors, then maybe circle back through there and see what they about. But like I feel like there's a lot of time wasted begging people to change. And it's just like, stop. Just stop. Just put your shit somewhere else. Put your attention and money somewhere else. And they'll realize when they got the same 8 book talkers talking about this shit and no one's talking about them. I think, excuse me, I understand the overarching system. We don't understand the same or overarching system, and that they have a lot of prevalence and stuff like that. But I kind of just really feel like, are we really looking for diverse stories? Like, really be honest with yourself. How diverse have you really gotten with the perspectives and the stories that you read? They go beyond, like, I want to see a black person represented. And I also criticize that too. Like, I kind of feel like people, like, they want art to be diverse and representative. But I'm like, maybe because having a black protagonist seems more obtainable than having like 100,000 new black doctors, you know, because I'm kind of like, and these are discussions, like, maybe it's more obtainable to have like a circulation of 10,000 books to have a black protagonist than doing the work. It seems easier to talk about that than like the work it would take to get 100,000 black doctors. Because for me, oh, my kids need to see this in media and stuff like that. It's like, I need, you know, hair on the cover, or some, you know. These are very hard discussions for me because I'm just like, I don't know if I get it. Like, I want my child to see like themselves in books, and that's cool. I want them to love themselves from books, that's cool. But who in their immediate family actually like fucking loves themselves? Right? Like, oh yeah, I want like a book that they can learn about hair. Well, why aren't you their mom or their aunt or their cousin? Do you love your hair? Can you show them an afro? Can you talk to them and have these discussions? I think sometimes we're putting a lot on like publishing and other people, and it's like, you can really be the example for your kid. You can really be the example. Like, some of these discussions, I'd be, you know, kind of like questioning a little bit. And it's not to say like having black media representation doesn't matter or isn't important, but I kind of just like, I want my real life to reflect shit. My actual life, when I prepare this book, when I close this book, I want to be able to go outside and see this stuff, not just read it and be escaping. I'm just saying. Places where you can find black, not like, I feel like you're gonna have to like, I think also the reason why people aren't finding the same diverse, like, y'all aren't, I don't think y'all are going into like the dumpster dive Wikipedia thread 12 pages deep at 3 a.m. type. Like, y'all gotta really find it. Look up some of the awards that have these people. Awards for science fiction, awards for romance, awards for experimental. You know, get more involved in your local writing communities. You'll start to find people. I think we're too into this national thing. Who are your regional players? Who are your local players? It's like, I'm tired of having these discussions. It's like, if you know, random, you know, Penguin, if Penguin isn't doing it, find a publisher that is, and put your money and support behind it. I don't know. I think this can be very this can be very draining, and I can be very jaded about this, or I can just like divert my attention and go on my own quest to find people. And also, I'm gonna be real, I'm tired of the same 10 people get mentioned too when it comes to these discussions. You know, I feel like, you know, Black History Month, People like, oh, these are the Negroes you need to these are the 10 black people, the 10 black people you need to read. It's just like, okay, some of y'all, like, let's really get out there, you know. Find a black mystery writer. I found one. Find a black, you know, sci-fi. I just feel like sometimes the consumer isn't doing enough work. They want things to be presented to them, and that's fine because that's the job of a lot of things, but understand that they're pulling from the people that are like the top to present to you, right? There's so many people. Shit, there's a million and one Wattpad stories out there that probably is banging. You would never know that unless you go and do that. Because, like, who the fuck, like, let's be real, who the fuck on the marketing team in, like, someplace in NYC or Chicago or LA or whatever, or London, is really going to be like, yeah, Wattpad is where it's at, unless they can make money off of it through ads or something. Let's be real about this. Yeah. And like I said, the perspectives also, it's kind of like, I want to see myself, and it's just like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I've ever read a book and I needed to see myself. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I took it for what it was. Like, I wasn't pressed. I'm gonna be real. Like, I've read some black authors. The ones you know, I'm not necessarily a Toni Morrison fan. I'm not a fan of, like, what she writes. I'm not going to take away the fact of her cultural impact or anything like that, but that's not my writer. Like, that's not my writer. That's not my writer. They're not my writers. It's okay. Not my writers. James Baldwin. I just read something. I read, like, a little piece, and I was like, okay, this is bumping. I read, but, like, that's not my canon. I'm sorry. It's not my canon, and I kind of feel like these discussions, there's like the same three, you know, people that get mentioned. But yeah, I feel like more different perspectives, animist perspectives, atheist writers, you know, people, it not just fiction, like non-fiction, poetry. Like, I'm on a poetry track, so like, there's a fuck ton of poets. Like, I'm gonna do a series, I guess. We'll go into it. And black poetry societies or black writing societies that have annual awards and have annual writing things and stuff like that. Like, you know, do they feel a little, I guess, bullish, gatekeepery? Perhaps, because they are societies and they have certain standards, and it can be kind of closed off and clicked. But I can't deny that you can find a wealth of resources in those sort of realms, right? Like, when you start looking at those different societies and fellowships and stuff like that, like, they are congregating a lot of black writers, depending on which one you go to. And some of them, yes, it's the same 10, but you need to start diving deep. So the discussions on diversity, I kind of feel like need to get, it's just very easy to talk about the white publishers. It's easy to talk about that, and I understand why, but, you know, it's 2025. If they don't have it, what you keep at the door for that for? To be honest, because they're not going to change it unless they feel like it's major money behind it, and it's not. Like, it's just not. Not in the way that, not for the people that they're trying to target. That's the thing. For the people they're trying to, I don't think we're having real honest discussions about who they're trying to target, right? I think we're having these discussions as though, I get it, you should be able to publish anything and stuff like that. The way they are set up, that's not how this is working. Like, the way they're setting up, the way they're doing their marketing, the way they're doing their what's that little SWOT SWOT analysis. The way they're doing that, is clearly not what you need or how we're seeing it, and it's just like, okay, just divert your attention away, right? And start putting on the people to do it. I would love to know more about, like, more so than like writers, publishers, magazines, zines, literary agents, cover designers. I would like to know about the diversity with them and how their identities form their aesthetic of how they're creating book designs and where are they working at. That's something that I would be more interested in than like just reading a book and there's like black people in there like, girl, like you can do that, like, girl, like, well, like, aim higher is what I'm saying. Like, girl, like you can you can find a couple of this is in the book, like you know what I'm saying? Like you can find a couple that written by white people and black people. And another thing, I don't know about this idea of the white gaze. I don't like. I guess I get it. It's like I get it, but I'm just like. Some of these discussions are really a way for certain groups of people to who are the POC or whatever. I don't like POC as a term. I don't like POC. I like WOC. I don't like black and brown. I don't like any of those terms, and I don't mean that as rude. I just don't feel like we're gonna rainbow everybody under this thing, and that's part of the reason why we have some of the issues that we have, because everybody wants to be under this one huge umbrella, and then when you don't have your particular identity seen, then you get mad. It's just like, well, you're dealing with you're kind of participating in it. But doing it. That's why for me, when I start my literature, I want to focus specifically on African American people. And I'm talking about like writers and specifics, like African Americans, descendant of United States chattel slave specific, because I feel like you can start to really deep dive into the different subcultures within your own culture by like specifying, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. Yeah, like these discussions, I'll be like, child, what is going on? But yeah, like the diversity conversation, I don't know. I guess because I don't have any real expectations of publishers to like publish outside of what they feel is marketable. And like, it's quite clear that they don't feel like this is marketable, even though I kind of feel like it is marketable. And I feel like it would be profitable to expand. But do you really want them to do it when they really are going to do it for a cash grab? Like, do you really want them to do it? You know? It's not sponsored by Coke, I'm just saying. Like, do you really? You know what I'm saying? Like, now you have to ask, like, do you really want them to come up and market books because they know that this is going to be profitable? You know, and I'm talking on the outside of like a Black History Month. Do you really want them to do it? Because then you're going to feel like they're just checking you off of a list of target audiences. Like, I feel like we need a little bit more clarity about what we really want in publishing. Like, I want diversity, but I want diversity of thought. Like, I don't necessarily need to see myself in a book, because I can see myself every day. But that's me, and that's how I roll. And I've done a lot of work on myself to like overcome the person who would have needed myself to be in a book, versus now I don't need to see myself in a book, because it's like I know I exist. And that's another thing. I'm like, some of these it's almost like we're making it seem like we don't exist. It's just like we do exist, and it's like we just don't exist to the level of prevalence in this medium. And we kind of do, but it's like we're in the arenas where something else is being sold, and we need to go to other arenas where this is being sold. So it's almost like we feel like we're phantoms or something like that. Like, it's like a spiritual energy. I'm woo-woo, I'm an animist. But it's like a spiritual energy of feeling like we just don't exist. And it's like, I get it, there's a lot of mechanisms at place and stuff like that, but like, I don't know about that. Anyway, thank you for watching this ramble because it didn't make no sense. But that's what I have to offer to the diversity conversation. I just kind of feel like I'll leave you with this. When it comes especially to the Black literature space, by virtue of you being Black, whatever you do is Black literature. It don't matter really the particulars. It don't matter if you're writing about white people. It don't matter if you're writing about interracial. By virtue of you being Black, it is Black literature. It will just fit in some sort of category, you know, Black literature, subcategory, whatever. Or category, subcategory, Black, whatever. And so I feel like people should probably maybe look at that like that anything you write is coming as a Black writer. And so you're free to kind of just, you know. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.